Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Tao Manifesting Tarot, the most honest, most clear metaphysical reading on the internet. Does something very unusual. It gives you the big picture, the full picture in color, connecting the 3D to the 5D. There's no fantasy, no unicorns, no rainbows, no magical energies from space. We deal with reality. It's the matrix revealed and a whole lot more. Tarot is manifesting. I've done it for over 20 years, and in that time, I've found that tarot really doesn't predict it very much at all. I mean, once in a while you'll get lucky, but for the most part, it comes up short in that regard. However, that is not the purpose of tarot. The purpose of tarot is the science of potential. Your potential, it's your human kryptonite. Tarot is the science of your potential. Get that. You're a spiritual being in a human form. And so what you're doing is connecting to your ultimate destination. And you can access it via your tarot frequency using the science of the cycles of time to guide you. So you have your destination. It is the tarot frequency. I use 3 cards because something magical, and I use that term advisedly, something magical about the number 3. Nikola Tesla said if you could understand the value of 3, the real value of 3, you'd understand the universe. We've seen plenty of examples in humanity where 3 seems to have that kind of a link, that magic connectivity. So I use 3 cards. With those 3 cards, I find an energy of frequency, your kryptonite. That is your gateway to the 5D. Now you can choose, because remember, tarot, the science of potential. I've done tarot for over 20 years. You can choose yes or no, or you can say maybe, which is kind of an answer and kind of a half-ass answer, but sometimes it's totally appropriate. For the most part, it's not. It's either yes or no, but the frequency is the door to your future, but you need a map to get there. That's where astrology, numerology come in, because they're the science of cycles within cycles within cycles. You know, you've heard people say history repeats. Well, the reason it repeats is the energies highlighted in astrology and numerology keep repeating. So we go through the same energies from time to time. Although the circumstances may not be a perfect match, the energy is. So, knowing these repetitive patterns teaches us about the future. It's not magic, it's simply knowing critical cycles that make up our daily routines. And we are, after all, creatures of routine. I guarantee by the time you're 20, you have certain routines in your life that you're comfortable with. When you're 80, you definitely have certain routines you're comfortable with. And through the difference between 20 and 80, we develop routines. Sometimes they're comfortable, sometimes they're not. But the fact of the matter is, we develop these routines, and that's what the astrology numerology reflect. So you combine this with tarot. By the way, I've done numerology and astrology for 50 years, so I've kind of dipped my toe in the water, so to speak. But the idea is that you're using tarot, numerology, astrology, so that you not only know your potential destination, but what it's going to feel like when you get there. Details may be different, obviously, but the energetic message remains. It is a total package in one reading. That's what we do here at the Tao Manifesting Tarot. You get the whole package. You get your destination and a map to your destination, your 5D potential. Today, we're going to look down the rabbit hole. I've finished my review of American history via astrology. I will continue to talk about it, and I'll go back to specific dates and so on and so forth in time into the present. But we're going to make a transition today, and it's a pretty big transition. Again, cycles within cycles within cycles idea, but That's where we're going to take off today. So, your evolutionary journey will begin in a minute, but I just want to take this opportunity to let you know that I do have an email you can contact me at, and please feel free. You can be friendly, funny, hateful. Doesn't make any difference. I'm not that sensitive. I got this for us to communicate. Tau-tarot at proton.me. Tau-tarot at proton.me. By the way, the .me is not my ego. It is Proton, the company I'm using for the email. They have two categories, apparently. .com for businesses and then for individuals. .me. So that's how I got the .me. It's not my ego. Not that important. Tau-tarot at proton.me. Write me. Good, bad, indifferent. It's okay. I open up the doors, walk through. Let's have a conversation. That's what it's all about. All righty. So we got it all set up. Let's go to the what I call the astrologic. And as I mentioned to you before, I've spent the last several months talking about the conquest of America. I've used astrology to take a look at the American history and come to determine that it has been the European Jewish bankers who have been carrying on a war with the colonies / United States of America right from the beginning, right from 1492, if not earlier. They got more sophisticated. They even did a little bit of PR work to make themselves sound better, taking usury to something that they made up called capitalism. Didn't work until they tried so many times that in 1913 they finally put together what they wanted. That is the equivalent of the Bank of the United States of America. They had the Bank of England. They owned it right from the beginning. They were the ones that created it. That was the deal they made with the King of England at the time, back in the 1600s. So they want to do the same thing here in the colonies and come up with the Bank of the United States. Well, it was called the Fed finally, and people had to die for it to happen. But to me, 1913, when we formed the Federal Reserve, that's when America was lost. Gone. The dream had ended. We didn't know it, but the dream had ended. Because every war, every recession, every depression, anything economically or militarily was funded and orchestrated. I say European bankers generally because there was a lot of inbreeding between the United States and America. That's why still today you see England and America so closely aligned to the same party, Israel. These attachments were made way back when, back before even the Bank of England or the Fed. But in 1913 for the United States, we were bought and sold. So with that in mind, I have been moving through the entire history of America, and we finished. Yesterday, we ended up in the year 2030. So I decided today to let's kind of broaden our vision a little bit. Remember, I talk about cycles within cycles. We do know that there are eras. We just have been coming out of the Piscean age. Each era lasts approximately 2,000 years, give or take. So you have 12 signs. 12 times 2 is 24. You add a little bit of fudging in because you always have to do that. Things are not exact. So 25,000 years ago. Interesting. Geologists, meteorologists, scientists said that about 26,000 years ago, there was a huge catastrophe. Wiped out almost all life on planet. We are only seeing the remnants now. Interesting. So what does that mean? Well, what it means is with every era signed an astrological sign, you have a certain kind of energy. We are leaving the age of Pisces, moving into the age of Aquarius. We're coming out of the Piscean age, fishes, faith. There was a rise in religions all across the world. Christianity, Islam, various branches of those two things spread out all over the world. It was really the age of religion. I don't know about faith, but the age of religion. Of course, Pisces is ruled by Neptune. In fact, it was discovered in the 1800s using mathematics. They didn't have telescopes that were powerful enough at the time. So they deduced that the planet Neptune was there using mathematics. That's very typical of Neptune and Pisces. You don't see it, you can't feel it, but you know it's there. Very, very. So we're looking at illusion or insight, delusion or deceit, belief versus fact. That's really even the way it came to mind. In fact, during the 1800s, right around the time that Neptune was mathematically discovered, there was a real rise in spirituality here in the United States, especially. A lot of it was bullshit, turned out to be crap, but people were searching for something deeper. And in fact, Neptune, which is a water sign, was also a time, age of Pisces, when the world begins to connect via oceans. The great age of exploration, people leaving their continents, going across the big waters. Before that point, may have happened irregularly, but as we hit the age of Pisces and got farther into it, we got pretty damn comfortable on the oceans, the big waters, and we used it to find out about our planet, to see things we hadn't seen before. Neptune is hiding things right in front of you. Well, that's kind of what we did with the world. So as we leave the Pisces era, and you could debate about whether we're in the age of Aquarius now. Some people say it's going to be another 200 years. Some people say, no, it's happening now. Fact of the matter is we're combining the Pisces era with the Aquarian era, and there's going to be a lot of overlap. But as we enter the Aquarian age, we begin to look at what makes us human. Because as we're leaving the Pisces era, the veil of what we believed has been lifted, and we see what's true and not true, what has been hidden from us. Pandora's box is open, and we see its contents, for good or bad. So with the Aquarian age, we now are walking away from that veil, and we're trying to look at what makes us human. Man versus machine. What happens when we lose or give up our soul? That's a remnant of the Pisces age. That spiritual quality, that spiritual essence, that was the gift of the Piscean age. But now we're entering the Aquarian age, and that's not so important anymore. Now, just to give you a little bit of depth, remember we talk about astrology cycles being cycles within cycles. We have, before the age of Pisces, the age of Aries. Really was the age of empire, the rise of individual countries or kingdoms. You had the Vedic kingdom in India, the Bronze Age in China. You had the Sumerians, Assyrians, Babylonians, Egyptian empires forming in the Middle East and affecting or infecting Europe. So while all this was going on, we saw this rise of belief. Now, while Pisces works with feelings, Aquarius works with facts. Pisces, no hands, Aquarius, hands on. Definitely. It's the vague versus the concrete. Depending on your information input, of course, you get fairness either way. Yeah, Pisces, they can lie to you just as easily as they can Aquarius. I see it all the time. People going to Chat GPT or any one of those AI things, believing it's gospel. Well, the AI stuff has proven to be wrong many, many times, and it's only as good as the information put into it. And then, of course, we have the human beings with their agendas, but it passes as fact. I think that's going to be one of the big challenges in the Aquarian age because we're so interested in facts. I don't give a damn about your feelings of facts. And you see the battle in society over those two mentalities. So we're in the process of blending the two, the Piscean age and the Aquarian age, and we're going down that rabbit hole. We do know that Aquarius is a fixed sign. It's independent, it's detached, it's unpredictable. It's humanitarian, but in a standoff way. Yeah, I'll talk to you, but I don't want to get that close to you. In so doing, Aquarians are often, well, they're not so spiritual. And you can't get them to change their mind because they are very fixed. They make up their mind. They're like Taurus. You know, this is the way it is. Too bad. Aquarian age is touch versus feel. Pisces was feel. Aquarian is touch. We're trying to blend those two. It's not going to be an easy situation, but that's where we find ourselves at this point. So let's go to the meme for today, shall we? Important to remember as we are in this mix between Pisces and Aquarius, it's about the matrix. It's not a place. It's a psychological trauma bond with fear-based control systems. We escape by healing our attachment, reclaiming our power, our energy, and our attention. And that's where it gets difficult. What do I feel my way through, the Pisces side, or do I think my way through the Aquarian side? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And that's what we're working on right now. That's what we're trying to figure out. Missing link for today says one of the first things that you can do. Don't do the cash stuff. I mean, don't do the cashless stuff. Don't plug into digital ID. All they need from you, and man, they're selling their ass off on it. They work in every kind of gimmick they can to get the information, your data. Cashless society can't be implemented unless digital ID is first in place. Every time you can think about it, please use cash. Because it's like telling your government to mind their frigging business. It's none of your business what I buy. I've earned the money. I've played by the rules. I get to decide what I get to decide. Stay out of it. And again, there you go, that conflict between Pisces and Aquarius. Do I feel? Do I think? Do I feel? Do I think? Do I feel? Do I think? Very, very complex and difficult. It's going to be kind of sticky, I think, for sure. Let's go look at the tarot. Here we go to the core. Here we go to the core of the reading. 3 cards. First one is High Priestess. Secrets. Wisdom. Carrying that Pisces energy, that feeling. What did you learn? High Priestess says, hang on to it. 6 of Cups says, if you're having difficulty making that what did you learn connection with your feelings, go back to a happier time in your life. When you were happy, when you were free, when you were connected to your emotions, your feelings. And the final card is the Queen of Wands. Once you decide to search inside yourself, find that gift that the Piscean time gave you, that sense of spirituality, that sense of intuition. Go back to a happier time. Build on that. That will build enthusiasm, energy, positivity. And you will have been able to blend Pisces and Aquarius together. We're out of time. Thanks very much. I know that money doesn't buy time. So every time that you're here, it's an investment. I appreciate it. God bless you. No point in going on. You get the idea. I'm very grateful. One thing, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. I know I pounded it into the ground, but other podcasters, myself included, are noticing something interesting going on with subscribers. Those numbers, if you're on the cutting edge, if you're looking to be truthful, honest, helpful to people, those numbers can go up and down, and mostly they go down. Mysteriously. Where do these people go? I don't know. So like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. I know I'm irritating. I'm going to stop now. Between now and the next time you and I do this tarot thing together, peace and blessings.